Hey, it's Nick Tumminello, and I have the pleasure of coming to you live in color from the Spine Symposium here in Seattle, Washington. It's been an amazing trip so far here. This is the second day of the conference. I have the pleasure of coming to you with Janet Hume. Janet gave an amazing lecture all about the pelvic floor, or a new approach to the pelvic floor, correct?
Yeah.
And she's going to teach us kind of the truth about Kegels, because some of the stuff you talked about Kegels was just mind-blowing stuff, and it's a whole different realm of people. We totally misunderstand this. So, Janet, why don't you talk a little bit about just who you are and why we should listen to you, and then you can teach us the truth about Kegels.
Good, thank you. I'm Janet Hume. I'm a physical therapist, and I've been in the practice for over 40 years and specialized in the pelvic muscle area and dysfunction, function, strength, weakness. We've done a lot of clinical research evaluating how the pelvic floor works, and Kegels came into being in the 1940s because of sex researchers, Dr. Arnold Kegle and later Dr. John Perry in the 70s, and they were interested in how women reached a climax. So they were looking at a specific action, thinking that that was how to evaluate how a woman reaches a climax, and they developed then what they call the Kegel. And they transposed that after they got their PhDs in psychology into then an exercise to improve bladder and bowel health and improve sexual function. But they didn't really understand how the muscle system worked. And in fact, that's not how it works. The Kegel is not how the pelvic muscles work. They work in conjunction with what we call outriggers or cables that attach to the hips that are called obturator internos and the gemelli, as well as the adductors. And those muscles work together with the pelvic muscles to then give you the best function and support, not only for your bladder, bowel health, and sexual health, but for standing, balance, and gait. So all you really need to do is you can be sitting or standing, and you can roll your knees out and in from midline. It's very easy, and that actually lifts the bowl and maintains then a good position and good strength for the pelvic muscles to support all your internal organs, and, by the way, your spine and your shoulders and your head, because 70% of your body weight is supported by this pelvic muscle region. It's not then about a Kegel, it's about the ability of the system called the pelvic rotator cuff to support in a dynamic way with every step you take.
Amazing stuff. So now let's get right down to it. Is there any benefit to doing Kegel exercises? Is there any population of women or men or anybody that could benefit from a Kegel, or do you think, we don't have to say it's bad, there's not necessarily bad or good?
Not bad, and it's not something that you never want to do because it's wrong.
Right.
It's just not the best way to correct weakness or correct a movement disorder, because the body never does a Kegel naturally. It's an artificial activity. The body does bicep curls naturally in function. The body does many other movements that we train for and strengthen for, but the body never does a Kegel alone in function. It always combines midline roll out and roll in of the hips with the action of the pelvic muscles. And so that's the problem in thinking that you're helping someone by doing a Kegel and not combining it with this small roll in, roll out, using the muscles of the short muscles of the hip in the roll in and roll out.
Sounds good. Well, I'd like to get you to do like maybe an exercise, one demonstration, so people can try and feel it. And obviously you have DVDs that go in depth about all your exercises or whatnot. So
you can do the exercises in any position, in supine or laying down and sitting, standing. Since I'm standing, we'll start with standing. In standing, you just do a little plie with your toes pointed slightly out and your hips over your heels. You do a little knee bend with your knees coming out over your toes. And then on the up, you come up with your knees rolling in over your big toe. So on the way down, your knees roll out so the weight comes over the lateral border of your foot, and you're doing a small knee bend, not a big one. And then on the way up, you roll your knees in so the weight's over your big toe. And you inhale as you go down, and you exhale as you come up. Very easy. Now in sitting, you can do it in sitting.
Yeah, go ahead, grab a chair.
Bring a chair over
Slide
here.
it back a little bit, so hopefully we get to...
In sitting, you have your hips and knees together, your knees and feet together touching, your hips at 90 degrees. You keep your heels touching and you inhale and roll out just hip width, because these are short, stubby muscles that connect your pelvic muscles with your hip. And then on exhale, you roll in. Your feet glide like a windshield wiper, out with roll out, and in with roll in. You can use resistance of an elastic band around your thigh and a ball between your knees to gain more strength and more proprioceptive input. Inhale, roll out against the band. Exhale, roll in on a ball. And you can do those 10 repetitions at a time.
Sounds good. Now, where can folks find out more about these exercises? Obviously, you have instructional DVDs that teach you the right way to train your pelvic floor muscles. So where can they find those videos?
They can find this information on www.phoenixcore.com. We also have live webinar courses you can take to find out more about this information and understand that the pelvic core is your innermost core, and it's involved with the core of the transverse abdominis, multifidus, and breathing diaphragm.
That's great stuff, Janet. I appreciate it. Make
Thank you.
sure you check out Janet's site. Also, if you get a chance to attend one of her lectures, if you're a physical therapist, personal trainer, ATC, or just an exercise enthusiast, some of the things that she'll teach you are absolutely amazing. It's scientifically based, it's common sense, and you can use it to enhance your physical function.